the PS5. It's nuts. $700. Oh boy, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
$700 in esta economía. Sorry, that price point took me so back that it took me all the way back to Venezuela. And it seems as though a lot of people share the opinion that that is simply way too much money for this particular upgrade. So for those who don't know, the PS5 Pro technical presentation was streamed earlier today. Mark Cerny took the stage and talked about the features of the PS5 Pro. And the emphasis was on essentially how a lot of people, like 3/4 of folks, choose performance mode over fidelity mode.
Of course.
And so this console, this upgrade will bridge the gap.
I think, by the way, is an indicator that these companies that are pushing for photorealistic graphics and making sure that the trees and the bark on the trees looks real, 3 out of 4 people don't care about that. They care about if your gameplay's good. That's what matters.
Through a combination of a larger GPU that gives you 28% faster RAM, 67% additional compute units, and alongside that, up to 45% faster rendering.
Yeah, sure.
Beyond that, they emphasized advanced ray tracing alongside AI-driven upscaling. And
amazing.
Yeah, those are neat features and all.
Cool.
But then they showed off
$700.
some games and the differences between what you'd find on the original PlayStation 5 versus what you'd find on the PS5 Pro. And that's where it kind of starts to fall apart. Like, they showed a variety of examples here, like this visual from The Last of Us.
You can see that the glass is different. I don't know, guys. That sure looks like it's worth $700 to me. Wow.
Part 2, and I'm here kind of trying to spot the difference. I guess the text is a little clearer. If I like zoom in here, you can see this is a little blurrier than this. But is that $700 worth of a difference? No. I wouldn't say so. Then they emphasize how the crowds in Ratchet and Clank look sharper on the PS5.
Yeah, because that's what people care about. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. So I'm going to get a PS5 Pro. Everybody knows this, right? Of course I'll buy one. Write it off my taxes. And I do the PS5 Pro, and I'm going to install it, and I'm going to get 5 games for the PS5, and I'm going to run 5 games for the PS5, and then we're going to run those 5 games on a PC, and we're going to see what the difference is. Now, the concern that I have is that I may have to locally record this, because of the bit rate. PC wins, $70 games. I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's literally a business expense for me. Like, I write it off my taxes. I can fucking return the games even if I don't want to, right? So, yeah, I'll unboxing PS5 Pro on stream. Yeah, exactly. We'll do Black Myth. We'll do. I'm thinking Black Myth, Wukong, God of War. Let's see, Last of Us Part 2. I think, is the second one on PC or not? And I think there's like a couple others. Assemble, yeah. Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, that's another good one. And I'll come up with 5 and do it.
5 Pro versus the original PS5. Sure, if you really squint, you can kind of see it. Is it $700 worth of a difference? I would be hard-pressed to say so. Right here we have an example of traffic and some leaves on a tree. Like, yes, you can see it's a little...
I used to see the leaves. Look at the leaves. Oh, wow.
Blurrier here, but I mean, is it such a vast difference that the price point of PS5 Pro is justified? Very few, I think, would agree with that. And while it's nice that we'll be able to have the fidelity of fidelity mode while having the performance of performance mode on the regular PS5 still looks good enough where a $700 price point for the
graphics have begun. This is what's happening with graphics right now. Very simple. It's plateauing off. We're right here. But the problem is that the effort required in order to make really good graphics is probably like this. So you have two graphs that are inverse. And these companies keep trying to make the graphics better with higher fidelity without understanding what people actually care about. If you go and you look at the Elden Ring models, look at the pixels. They suck. Elden Ring's graphics are below average for AAA games. And do you know what? No one cares. No one gives a fuck. It doesn't matter. Look at Astrobot. Is that photorealistic? Not unless you're a Pixar movie. Look at Valheim. It's just bullshit. They cared about performance, though? Yeah, performance matters a lot. I think the big thing with the new PlayStation is the fact that it's 120 FPS. That's the good selling point. I can't wait to try out Demon Souls with that and see how it plays.
PS5 Pro, for a lot of people, is just simply not acceptable. And it doesn't help matters that the vertical stand is sold separately. They can't even include a piece of plastic after charging $7.
Guys, you just put it on the fucking you don't need a vertical stand. Get the fuck out of here. I've got it sitting on my desk. It's been there for years. It's fine. Vertical stands. You don't need a vertical. Just sit it on the fucking ground.
$100 for the PS5 Pro. And on top of that, you'll see right here that this does not come with the disk drive. So you have to purchase that separately, which is an additional $80 cost for those who want
USB connector?
to maintain the ability to purchase physical media and use that.
God.
So for those folks, you're really looking at a price of $780. That's almost $800.
Bro, so like you get you want to play one game on this bitch, you're dropping $1,000. Because you're thinking $700 for the console. How much is the vertical stand? It's probably overpriced. It's probably like, what, $50? Like $70, something like that, right? Then you've got the PlayStation Plus, and then you've got, I guess the controller comes as $30. Okay, reasonable. Good job. But to be fair, though, guys, the PlayStation 5 Plus, the Pro vertical stand might be more money. Because, hey, if you're a pro, you can afford it. That's a completely different vertical stand. So you got to keep that in mind. Then you also add in tax, and then the disk drive as well. Holy fuck, man! You're gonna be trying. It's almost $1,000.
Plus the kickstand, which is an additional however many bucks for the full package. Maybe things would have gone a little better if they had showcased like a new game that took full advantage of the PS5 Pro's power and really highlight.
I think he brings up a really great point here, because wasn't Demon Souls such an incredible advertisement for the PlayStation 5? God, that game looked fucking amazing. It was so good. It really, like, I looked at Demon Souls and I said, this is next gen. This is the next level.
The kind of graphical fidelity we can achieve with the additional prowess, but none of that. We just got examples of old games and side-by-side comparisons whose difference were kind of hardly noticeable. Maybe if...
Bro, if somebody said something in chat that made me think of something else. What if the game that they had planned to be the PS5 Pro was Concord? What if that's what happened? And so Concord was the game that had like this crazy resolution upscaling and everything, and they had to cut it out of the presentation because of how bad it was.
If Digital Foundry gets their hands on the PS5 Pro, the differences will become more prominent, but at least in this YouTube video presentation, they really didn't do a good job of justifying this price point. And so if we scroll down and look at the likes to dislikes ratio, you'll see that reception is fairly mixed. And the comments here are not particularly cordial or fully on board.
I'm shocked that the controller and power cord aren't sold separately at this point. Y'all lost your minds. Well, what do you think they are, Apple? $70 with no vertical stand disk drive is insane. Yeah, people, the value proposition just really isn't there. They're recouping costs. What if the PS5 Pro was originally supposed to only be $600, but like they had to change it at the last minute because of Concord? They were like, guys, it's too much money. Yeah, We've lost too much money. We've got to increase the price of the console. Thanks,
with
Concord.
the price point. So this is kind of where we're at as far as discussions go. And just to compare to what the current cost of the PlayStation 5 is, you got the slim model here with the disc drive-less version being $450 and the one with the disc drive being $500.
I think that definitely it's a good idea to introduce the Pro Editions, and I think that the Pro Editions are really good, but the value add for this one, I don't think that as a current PlayStation 5 owner, if I was not a streamer with basically infinite disposable income, I would not ever buy this. Like, if I was just like an average guy, like let's say if I made 200 grand a year, I wouldn't buy this. Like, I really, like, fuck no.
So the PS5 Pro
But
is
I
an
could see, but I wanted to, let me just go back and just, I want to get ahead of myself. The reason why is that if I didn't have a PlayStation 5 at all, I would probably choose to buy the Pro. If the Pro was on the market and the PS5 normal was on the market at the same time, because it's really only like basically a 200 or like 150 probably whenever it goes on sale markup. So like, yeah, at that point, I probably would make the purchase if I'm already spending $500. But as a current PS5 owner, I don't really feel like the Pro Edition gives me an incentive to buy it.
Being $500.
200K is average. 200K is
so
not
the
average.
PS5 Pro
200K
is
is
an
like top
additional
5%.
$200. And that's, again, without excluding the fact that you have to purchase the disc drive and the vertical stand separately. $200 more than the PS5 Slim. That does include the disc drive. And even if you're an all-digital player and don't need the disc drive,
I don't need
the digital version of the PS5 Slim is $450. That's still a $250 difference between the PS5 Slim all digital and the PS5 Pro all digital. It's also worth noting that in the UK and Europe, we're looking at £700 and 800 euros. So if we convert that to
$50 for a disc drive? That's a lot. Why? I mean, like, it's 80 here? Well, no. The external is 80? What? I bought my mom a disc drive for like 20 bucks. Yeah, was it Blu-ray? Oh, it could have been Blu-ray. Oh, wow. Wow, it's a 4K Blu-ray device. Okay, all right. $50, okay. All right, it doesn't seem quite as crazy. All right.
the US dollars, we're looking at a price point of 915 US dollars roughly in the UK. And in Europe, in countries where euros is the main currency, we're looking at 881 US dollars. That's on top of the fact that right before they announced the PS5 Pro, Sony increased the price of their PS5 DualSense controllers in US, Europe, and more by a couple dollars. This is kind of...
Dude, it's Concord that did this. Concord did all of this. Concord is killing PlayStation. Yeah, bro, this is fucked up.
Getting ridiculous and getting out of hand. And you can see right here in the accessory section that the disc drive for PS5 still costs $80 and the vertical stand for PlayStation 5 consoles costs $30. To give you even more of a point of reference for why this price point is so controversial is this tweet right here by Jeff Keighley, who bullet listed the inflated price points for all PlayStation consoles. So to give an example, back in 1995, the price point that the PS1 was back then would be worth $611 today.
Well, hold up, because like there's a really important component to this, that the PlayStation 3, like, it's more money than a PS5 Pro, but the PlayStation 3, at the time that it came out, had, like, state-of-the-art Blu-ray player technology that, on its own, was, like, half of the value of the console. Yeah, like and for me, I didn't really give a shit because DVDs were fine to me. But yeah, so it is the highest price because the PS3 just had such a massive value add. And isn't it insane that the PS2 is actually one of the cheapest ones on here, even though it had the same thing for DVDs? Literal best console of all time, undisputed. It's not even a question.
Today, and he goes on to list all of the other consoles as well. So the PlayStation 2 would be $546 today. The PS3 $778. With a PS5 Pro, if you get both.
My friend Zach, his dad is still borrowing my PlayStation 2. It's probably still in the exact same place in the den. It's like a garage area. Probably still sitting there right in front of the TV.
The disc drive and the vertical stand,
15 years.
That's $810, so more expensive than the ludicrously priced PlayStation 3. Beyond that, we got PS4, which would be $538 today. PS4 Pro would be $522 today. PS5 would be $606 today. Yep. And then PS5 Pro, $700. Again, that's the base price, the incomplete package without the disc drive and the vertical stand. For all intents and purposes, the PS5 Pro might as well be the most expensive console that Sony and PlayStation have ever launched.
Yeah,
if you actually want the full package, if you want all of the features there. The PS3 at least did come with a disc drive, and so the PS5 Pro is going viral for all of the wrong reasons. The optics are kind of abysmal. Tweets are going viral like this one right here with over 1 million views and almost 30,000 likes within just...
I don't really think this kind of stuff matters because the PS5 Pro is being aimed at people who are obviously enthusiasts for PlayStation and really big fans about it. So, like, the PS5 Pro isn't really for average people. It's for, like, the super dedicated, like, big audiences of people.
A couple of hours. You guys are selling like the disc drive separately for a $700 console that is $200 more expensive than the original version of the console. We have to pay over $800 to get the full PS5 Pro experience. There's just no way they thought this was okay. We got this post right here. I think it's super dire that they're showing off the PS5 Pro features on games that everybody beat last year. As I mentioned before, if they're showing off some new games that highlight the power of the PS5 Pro and really highlight the graphical differences and performance differences you can see between PS5 and PS5 Pro, maybe that would have gone down better. But even then, $700 is still a steep asking price point that would take a lot of selling. We got this tweet right here with almost 1 million views and almost 30,000 likes. The PS5 Pro has lines across the middle of the console.
That black dude with the 3 fucking... with the 3 toothpicks, man. How you do that? Oh my god.
Which are not to the lines Sony executives were doing when they priced the thing. Oh yeah, design-wise, it's got more lines in the middle here. That's how you know it's a PS5 Pro and not a regular PS5 Slim. Folks trying to identify the difference between PS5 and PS5 Pro graphics, at least in the...
Yeah, bro, like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I went and... So, like, whenever I went and I saw this, I was thinking to myself... Nah, there's no way I'm falling off, right? Because, like, I like my vision. And I start looking at other things in the room. I'm like, no, I can read that. I can read that. I'm good. No, it actually... Okay, so there really isn't a difference. Okay, that's what I thought.
Demos that they showed off during the PS5 Pro presentation. I myself was also like squinting and kind of noticed slight differences, but nothing so substantial as to justify the additional $200, or I should say additional $300 if you want the full package. People already posting memes that are comparing the price point of the PS5 Pro to Mr. Krabs level
money
of greed. You've got this tweet right here that has also garnered tens of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views. $700, and the first game we saw running on PS5 Pro was a PS4 game. Man, LOL.
Man,
referring
LOL.
to The Last of Us Part 2, which, yes, is a gorgeous game, but it is a last-gen game.
Exactly.
And they need to show off new stuff that highlight...
Yeah, it's like... Guys, I got this crazy new advertisement. So Starforge Systems is coming out with this crazy new PC. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to just fire up World of Warcraft, and we're going to take a look. And as you can see, right, you see this game, and you're going to be looking at easily over 100 frames per second inside of World of Warcraft. This is a huge game, as you can see right here. You've got the loading screen, absolute no frame rate loss whatsoever. Of course, load anyway. Oh, I have to, this is this part where I'm not allowed to say the N-word, right? Actually, never mind. I'm a classic WoW player. I shouldn't have signed that. Never mind. But yeah, so as you can see here, look at the graphics. Absolutely amazing. The quality here, look at the resolution. If you go to the menu and you look at the system settings, look at these. Turned all the way up to 10. Ultra high, custom, ultra, sunshaft, spell density, everything. 4K resolution, classic World of Warcraft. This is what we're bringing to you right now for the low price of $4,000. Sony should hire me for the next one, and I'll do it myself. I'll take 3. That's it?
Current generation prowess. Here we have somebody highlighting how for not much more you can get a PC that's pretty damn good and pretty future-proof. So PS5 Pro Plus disc drive is $780. If you get the vertical stand, that's, again, $810 for about $500 more. You get free online, free cloud saves, much cheaper games, mods, higher fidelity and frame rates, PC Game Pass with Day 1 Xbox games, plus hundreds of other titles. PS5 exclusives that will eventually come to it in 1 to 2 years after launch. DLSS with frame gen, ability to tweak and customize settings, ability to upgrade one PC part at a time, countless other benefits of a gaming PC, so on and so forth. And you can get an even cheaper 1440p build. Now, the benefit of the PS5 is that you do get those PlayStation exclusives on day one, unless they are like live services like Helldivers 2, in which case they will come to PC on day one. But for your like Last of Us's and your God of Wars, yeah, you'll get those early. But you can also probably get away with just sticking to the original PS5 console.
Yeah, you just stick with the original one, bro. Like, I feel like it's not really worth it unless you got money to blow, you don't already own a PS5, or you're, like, a super enthusiast Sony fanboy. Like, I just, like, I'm not seeing it. Like, I haven't talked to, like, any of my friends about it, but, like, I feel like I have a lot, I have a lot of friends. These are, like, non-streamer friends, just, like, people I grew up with. And, like, we're at the age now where, like, we have a lot of disposable income, right? And at least, you know, some of my friends are, like, fortunate enough to have that. I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't. Yeah. Like, not even them. Old people age? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just not really worth it. My normie friends are also memeing the price.
Like, the market for the PS5 Pro feels extremely narrow at that price point. It really is for people with, you know, who just have money to burn and really want those high fidelity graphics with high frame rate. But I feel like most people will be pretty okay with the performance modes we've been seeing so far in the graphics there, at the distance that they're sitting from their TV, at the resolution that these games run in, and how good these games tend to look even in performance mode. You got somebody right here highlighting the comedy of how Sony, in just the last week, the CFO said that they don't have enough IPs, and then they announced the PS5 Pro to make more realistic graphics, and then Astrobot launched within the last week, and it proved that they have so many IPs because of all of the IPs highlighted within Astrobot.
That's actually a really good point. That's a very, very, very good point. Yeah. I don't think that the problem is IPs. I think that the problem is that a lot of the IPs that Sony has, like, they're like single-player games that it's like a one-and-done type thing.
That's fine. The treasure trove of IPs that exist under Sony, on top of the fact that Astrobot isn't a realistic game, and highlights that you don't need hyper-realistic graphics to make something amazing, to create a full-fledged, exciting, wonderful, magical single-player experience, or just gaming experience in general. So yeah, this is kind of what discussions surrounding PS5 Pro look like right now. It's fairly negative overall. For my part, I think that the PS5 Pro should have been $600 tops, and it should have included the disc drive and a vertical stand, and then they should have lowered the...
It should have been $700, and I should have included the disc drive and a vertical stand. They would have made more money that way, and it would have more felt like a complete package. I am very much of the mindset of don't lower the price, increase the value. That's where I see it, right? That's my perspective for like whenever I sell something, that's what I try to do instead of lower the price. It's 700 without it. Yeah, I know. I think it should come with it.
PS5 Slim editions.
That's my opinion.
By
his idea
like
is
$50
good too,
or
right?
something.
That's just what I think.
And I think that would have maybe gone through a lot better. But the current model and just how stingy they're being about this $700 package that still isn't the full package. Like I can totally see why the optics surrounding this are so horrible. And I'll be very curious to see whether PS5 Pros actually sell and whether Sony and PlayStation will be able to output games and products that take advantage of the PS5 Pro's enhanced hardware enough that it'll start convincing people to start leaning in that direction. But
I think we're going to, like, you're never going to have a point where console gaming becomes... Like the values that the value that console gives is not something that I think that PC can cannibalize any more than it already has. I actually think the majority of cannibalization from console will come from mobile instead. I think that's especially going to be true with like more simplistic games, but right now obviously it's something that remains to be seen. I also think that consoles, like the difference between like my PC, if you were to build, like let's say that you build my PC with the absolute, like instead of state of the art, opposite of state of the art, like the worst motherboard, the worst RAM, a power supply that comes from a company that you can't even pronounce. It's just 2 Chinese letters. Like you get all the janky stuff. You're still looking at probably $2,500, $3,000, right? Like, keep in mind, I have a state-of-the-art PC. I have like a 4090, the best processor. I don't have the best processor. But I did. 2,000? Fuck no. How much is a 4090? It's $1,600. Yeah. Was my estimate wrong? I feel like I said 2,500. I feel like that's really reasonable. I'm out of touch? Really? You think I am? I don't think so, man. I really don't. Yeah, I think that if, like, I don't know, like, we could go on PC Part Picker and put something together, but, like, I actually really think that if you looked at my parts, you'd be looking at probably 2,500. Somewhere, now, I could be off by a couple hundred, but I think that's somewhere in the ballpark. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not true, but that's what I thought it would be.
Based on what they've marketed so far, I just don't see how anyone will feel enticed to upgrade. For newcomers to PlayStation 5, even then, we're talking about $200 more. Even those folks, I feel, will generally be enticed to just get the original PlayStation 5, which is powerful enough and games look good enough on those consoles. But at least they haven't invested in a console already and maybe will kind of justify to themselves to just get them.
For a new customer that wants to get a PS5, I think the PS5 Pro does provide enough value. I mean, it's so subjective, right? But like, if I was a gaming enthusiast and I didn't have a PS5, I would probably buy the PS5 Pro if the decision was in front of me.
Most future-proof version of PlayStation 5 by getting the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
But even then, at $700, that doesn't come with a disc drive or the vertical stand. Like, it is still like a difficult proposition. It is still quite the consideration to make, especially in the economy we're in right now, where that kind of price point does feel substantial.
Oh, you know what? Like, I don't know if any of you guys are like console gamers in here, but this is something that's like really important. we're still seeing a lot of televisions that still have a refresh rate of only about 60 FPS. So when a lot of you guys are buying your consoles and you're looking at like 120 FPS, you're not going to be able to get that. So, but you have to make sure that you're buying a TV that has a resolution, or sorry, not resolution, a refresh rate of 120, 165. Like an ideal situation is a 240, right? But like 144. That's the number. Yes, a 144. Yeah, look for that. I'm at 165 right now. I've thought about going up to 240, but I just haven't really I was hoping like a company would send me a monitor that was like that and I could try it out myself, but I haven't had time. It hasn't happened yet.
Not something to scoff at.
So, yeah,
to me, this
be
feels
careful,
like Sony
guys.
is returning to arrogance mode, and it feels like it's going to
won't
backfire.
even see the FPS
though
increase.
Who knows what the future holds and what kinds of products and games they'll have prepared to really market and try to justify what they've done here with the PS5 Pro. I'm sure it's an impressive piece of hardware for what it is, but you know, if they want to make this a mass market product, $700, that is incomplete, and what is technically an $810 package if you want the full experience. I don't know. Oof. So yeah, that's my take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on the PS5 Pro price point. Do you agree?
I think that also right now, people are really sensitive to pricing because of just how bad inflation has been and how much people are getting pinched. And like, I think that what we're seeing right now is like, let him wrap up the video, then I'll talk about it.
Folks that they've kind of crossed over a line with the price point, or do you think this is around where the hardware's price point would sit based on the offerings that they highlighted in the earlier presentation, in the earlier live stream? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
There it is. Well, give me 1 second. I'll watch the Crimson Desert stuff in just a bit. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about this. So I think that right now, a lot of customers and a lot of the people in like the Western like cultural culture, like just publicly, are very price sensitive. And I think the reason why is because of how expensive everything has gotten. Like it's insane. Oh, by the way, I went to fucking Taco Cabana last night. And they gave me another chicken quesadilla. I'm not going there anymore. I'm done. I'm not going there for like 6 months. Like I'm done. This is 3 out of 4 times I've been to Taco Cabana. 3 times have been chicken quesadillas. 1 has been a steak quesadilla. 4 times I ordered a steak quesadilla. I'm finished. I'm done. Like, I'm not going there anymore. Make your own? No. I'm going to complain. No. I'll go somewhere else. I'll buy it somewhere else. I'm so fucking mad. Like, it ruined my fucking day last night. Do you complain to them? No. I drive home thinking that I'm like, because there's 2 Taco Cabanas. There's the bad Taco Cabana and the really bad Taco Cabana. And I went to the bad Taco Cabana because it's better than the really bad Taco Cabana. Anyway, look. I had to eat a fucking chicken quesadilla. Fuck! Anyway, people are very sensitive to price. And you know how much it was? $15 fucking dollars. $15.52. Me and Dylan used to get the bean and cheese taco combo for like $4 or $5. And like, this is after we graduated high school. So like, this is in like 2011, 2012. What the fuck happened, man? They took the fucking thing off the menu. Bend over everyone. Exactly. It makes me so fucking mad. Yeah, 6-month cooldown. Yeah. You got robbed? It was a goose from Springfield? If it was, it probably would have tasted better than that piece of shit chicken they gave me. Thing tasted like garbage. I wish it was a fucking goose. If it was a cat, it probably would have been even better. Fuck. So yeah, free range? I wish. Anyway, is buy the franchise. Just calm down, all right, guys. Just settle the fuck down. So people are very, very price sensitive right now. And I think this is coming in a point where you're seeing how many of you guys have, like, in your age group, you've seen like two different groups of friends where you have like some friends that are doing really well financially and other friends that are doing really not well financially. And like you see them kind of like congregating into the like upper middle class and then lower working class, right? Me? Yeah, it's really bad, man. And I think that's what's happening is that I'm seeing the same thing where it's like a lot of my friends are doing well, you know, family members are doing well, etc. But I do have other friends that are like still stuck down basically in like that, you know, that like kind of in like bronze league basically, right? And they can't make any fucking money. It's hard for them to get a job. Once I hit six figures, I lost a lot of friends. The thing is that there's a lot of people like, I just think that there's a huge issue where you're seeing a larger cultural divide. And I think the problem too is that people that are making like $120,000, right? I mean, $120K, like I remember whenever that was like a lot of money, right? Whereas now it's not that it isn't a lot of money, but it wasn't seen as the same way as it is now, right? It's like a six-figure salary used to mean something different than it does now. It's not a lot at all. It very much depends on region, right? If you're talking six-figure salary in San Francisco, you're having a bad time. If you're talking six-figure salary in Kansas, you're probably living like a king. So it really depends. But yeah, if you live in Cali, 120K 8 months, yeah, exactly. Or New York City, something like that, right? And like I just see there's a lot of people that are like so resentful of that. Because like these are people that have student loans and they have a job and it pays them like maybe $20 an hour. And like there's no real upward mobility for the job. And it's just it's bad, man. It really is. And I think that's like on top of like the price of groceries going up massively, the price of utilities going up in some cases, like the constant need to stay up to date with like different types of technology. Like, it's just, there's so many people that are getting squeezed and like basically like their cookie, so many people are trying to take a bite out of their cookie that whenever they hear a $700 console, they lose their fucking minds.